Back Row Ministry of the World Permit, Mr. Mahdi coming at you live and direct from the Kia Optima studio. And just want to do a quick piece on Army of Darkness. And as you can see, I have on the screen one of the primary characters in the Army of Darkness. And you know him as a gentleman that plays Ghost, or played Ghost in Power for a long period of time. He's been in a lot of movies though. But he plays the character of Vanderho, or Vanderho, in Army of the Dead. I keep saying Army of Darkness, but it's Army of the Dead. So, Army of the Dead, of course, is the new Zack Snyder movie. It's a zombie movie. I'm not a fan of zombie movies, but I said, let's pull it up. I'm not a big fan of zombie movies, but I said I would kind of, peep this movie out. And you see some things always. So we got the dollar sign inside of their little poster. You got Dead, the nuclear bomb, and then you got, the skull and bones in the middle. So the 223, the dollar sign, and the nuclear explosion. And if you've been following my channel for a long time, we talk about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. We talk about the end of the world. We talk about war coming to the shores of America in the form of the nuclear war. And as you can see, the drums of war are already beating. We said the wars would begin in the East. That's already starting. We see the decline of the dollar. You see the financial situation getting out of control as the Democrats have taken over, the gods of destruction. And like we talked about in the past, anytime you want a world war, you need a Democrat in office. That's why we have Joe Biden in office, and possibly, as we spoke about, if you've been following my channel before they turned it off, that we would get Kamala Harris as the actual president as we go into this illusion of a black planet. Not the black planet that's going to actually come about, but the illusion of what they want to create and control and just call it a black planet. So Army of the Dead, the dollar sign, bet on death, or bet on skull and bones. And then look at it, it says bet on skull and bones, the new world order, to create this order out of chaos. And they'll use the war, that's why they had the nuclear blast at the end, to kind of symbolize the bringing forth of that new world order. We already see it with the pledginess, the plague that we have right now, as part of that way of converting people and getting people to conform to whatever orders they're going to be sending down the pipeline. So a lot in Army of the Dead that's hidden. A lot of hidden stuff in Army of the Dead. So Vanderho. I brought up Vanderho because if you watch the movie, Vanderho is the last man standing. So this movie takes place in the land of sin, which is Las Vegas. And you can kind of look at Las Vegas as Sodom and Gomorrah. And inside of the movie, the main antagonist, which is called Zeus, he's the zombie god, who's not really a zombie, but he's an alien. He has the power of the gods somehow inside of him, but it's not quite right due to them trying to kind of create this god character. But he's able to kind of create other zombie minions that kind of follow him around, but it's not quite right. And you see they have the blue baby inside of that, where blue is kind of your color of power inside of this movie. He is not really quite an alien. It's not really explained, but we know he's not really a zombie. That's one thing we know. Somehow he's got this form, but it's not. He's a zombie, but not really a zombie. Kind of a zombie that's a thinker. But everything takes place in Las Vegas, and what happens is Zeus, or the gods, go to Las Vegas, which is Sin City, and pretty much eradicate Sin City. They eradicate Sin City and pretty much take it over. And we can say Las Vegas represents America, because in the movie you'll see they show all the parts of Las Vegas. They show the Statue of Liberty. Zeus stays in the Olympus building, or the Olympus Hotel, between the Sodom and Gomorrah buildings. So you see the fall, and the really just showing you the fall of Babylon and the war that would lead to the fall as the gods come back and pretty much eradicate everything that's in Babylon. So if I can pull up a picture of that. Let's see, we got a quick image of so not quite getting the image. Drivers, I don't want to see anybody up, but can't really get the image that I'm looking for Las Vegas and how it kind of looks in the movie. But if you've seen the movie, you kind of know what I'm talking about when we talk about Las Vegas. And there's the zombie flying through Las Vegas, flying over the slot machines. So kind of get a gist of what I'm saying. But all this takes place in Las Vegas. So Vandero, sorry about that pause, but Vandero in the movie is the last man standing. And if you have followed my work, like I said, you know we talk about the coming of the gods, and the gods being people of color, people that can absorb the melanin and the gamma. And this is very key why Vandero was chosen as the last person standing. So you'll see it mentioned that Zeus is the alpha. He's the alpha zombie, meaning he can create. He was the beginning. He was the beginning of the plague. Vandero is the Omega. He's the Omega. He's the end. Remember the Alpha Omega ritual? We talk great details about Alpha Omega rituals, how they work. But he's the end of whatever's been planned. And everything will end with what we call the Super Bantu, or a member of one of those tribes that speak those various languages. Bantu is just one of those languages of those that we call the true children of Israel, those people coming out of the Congo, coming out of any place we say above the Sahara Desert, above the desert line, being those people who speak those languages, being the true children of Israel, being the true gods that kind of migrated and created everything. Talk about the Mali Empire, things like that, all those tribes that kind of were a part of that. So Vandero is the last man standing. He has the ability to not only absorb the power of Zeus, which he did. He absorbed that power, whatever they were trying to do to Zeus. Because remember now, Zeus is this military person, but we don't know what actually they were trying to create when they created Zeus. But whatever it is, whatever this power was that they got from probably aliens, he was able to absorb that and wasn't taken over quickly by it. And then the other part of that was Vandero was able to survive the nuclear explosion at the end. And he walks out of the nuclear explosion. Now, anybody knows if there's a nuclear explosion, realistically, who can survive that? Because the fallout within itself should kill you. But the Bantu, or the Bantuel, can absorb the gamma radiation. They can absorb that radiation, can absorb that. And that's what the 144 is all about. So when we get into this talk about the 144, those are the things that we're talking about. So, gematria on Vandero. So Vandero is of course 47. We know 47 is the foundation. So we're saying this foundation is going to be created. And Vandero is the beginning, because at the end, he's the Alpha and the Omega. He can decide how the fate of the world is in his hands. So a lot of people don't understand the end of the movie, but it's simply put, the fate of the world is in the hand of the gods. The gods can decide. Vandero, being one of those men with the power now, can decide, okay, does the world continue or does it end? It's up to him to make that choice. All right, so Army of the Dead, quick gematria on Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead, 62, 226, 64. We want some more ciphers. You want to pull up some more stuff. Army of the Dead, 73, 21, 249. And Army of the Dead is 109, which is 29. I don't think it vibrates with anything. 64. Let's pull up Vandero and see if Army of the Dead vibrates with Vandero. Vandero. 65, 52, 79, 88. Remember the 88 Club? 151, which is 36. Vandero 65. Doesn't vibrate with that. All right, so no vibration with that. Then we talk about Zeus, our main antagonist. Zeus is 17, the kill code, 26, the God number. So anytime you see like 26, you know you're dealing with the God number. Put God up there. God is 26, God is 17. And let me see what else we can pull. A lot of stuff we can pull out of this movie. Las Vegas, where it takes place, is 49, which is Revelation. We talk about Revelation. 67, which is 19, 41, which is 13, 17, 59 is 17, the kill code. Zeus is the Alpha. Alpha 38, 38, 43. And see Alpha, the beginning, take Alpha, vibrates with Vandero. See, Alpha is 43, Vandero is 43. So see the vibration we get with those two? Vandero 43. So he's the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning and the end. And they kind of put it in a kind of sort of term or sort of way. So just kind of paying attention to what they do in these films. And like I say, Army of the Dead, really the poster tells you what you're getting into. Always bet, always, the dollar will always be in control. Always bet on Skull and Bones to be the alpha, to be the order out of the chaos. And nuclear war within itself, is always the bringing of death. And that's pretty much what you see, and that's what we're going through right now as we enter what people like to call the last days. We see the plague is here. We're going out of the plague, going into war, going to financial chaos, and talking about the end of Babylon or Sodom and Gomorrah, which is America itself, the end of what we see today, and that will be changing into something new moving forward. But all is going to revolve around the Vanderos of the world, or the Bentuel, and you can put Bentuel in there. Those individuals are the 144 that we talk about with this ability. Bentuel 42, 21. But those individuals with this ability to absorb the radiation, as we like to say, so Bentuel 101, which is 26, 149, 42. 42 is always the Negro number. And we forgot to put Omega on here. Omega 23, 22. Army of the Dead 21. So he's the Alpha and the Omega. And he also vibrates with Zeus. But he vibrates with Las Vegas. Remember, Las Vegas 23 and 41. And Omega 23 and 41. That kind of summed up the end, the Omega. Back to that. Omega 23 and 41. So Vanderohe survives Las Vegas at the end. He vibrates with Las Vegas in the end. He survives Las Vegas in the end. He's the last man standing, the Bantuel, the ability to absorb the gamma or the ruach, the radiation, and absorb the power of the gods and truly be able to process it. We don't know what he's going to become, but we know he's not going to become Zeus. He's not going to be a mindless zombie with the power. Remember, he's philosophizing at the end of the movie, so his intellect is advancing, but we don't know what it's going to advance to. So things to watch out for. They do try to come to new, but if we bring this into the reality of the day, and kind of piggybacking off the joke that Barack Obama makes the joke. Remember, the movie starts off talking about Area 51. Barack Obama, a man of color, states there is no Area 51. Yet this creature is created in Area 51 based upon something they've got. We see the possible UFOs in the movie. So Barack says that our gods, the gods are real, but there's no Area 51. We haven't kidnapped anybody. We don't have any information, but you know, slowly but surely they tell you what's going to happen. And at the end of the day, like they're saying in Army of the Dead, the world will be decided, and the fate of the world will be decided by the Bantuel. That's why they got to get rid of us. That's why they got to put the dose out there, the shot out there, to get rid of people of color. They don't know who this 144 is. They don't want to take any chance. They'll nuke the world before they let one of these individuals stand up out of the rubble, which happened in the movie. They'll nuke the world before they let one of the 144 stand up. But even at the end of that, you can't destroy the Bantuel. Mr. Mahdi, peace and hair grease. Have a good one.